Da 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 da. Da 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 da. All right, good evening, everybody. So today we are going to try something that I've never done in TryHackMe before, but we're going to get some learning on. So first things first, you can see here on the access page on TryHackMe, I am connected. So I have a VPN connection into the TryHackMe network. So now we're going to go and do Vulnversity. So it is the first actual bit of hacking that you get to do here in TryHackMe if you're doing the getting started rooms. So Vulnversity, here we go. So a couple things. You can't see my taskbar because my webcam's in the way, but I do have GreenShot running, which is my screenshot taking tool. And I do have Microsoft OneNote open. So we'll just go ahead and make a new section and we'll call this, we'll just call this TryHackMe. And new page, and we'll do this as Vulnversity, so you can see my notes that we're going to go as we go through here. So we're just going to go and answer the questions, but I will show you kind of things that I would screenshot and how to put it in, stuff that I would do for a typical pen test report. Okay, so Vulnversity. Learn about active recon, web app attacks, and privilege escalation. Of note, again, disclaimer, the tools that we're learning here are for ethical reasons only, so please only use them for that. And I have not done Vulnversity before. In fact, up until today, I didn't have a TryHackMe subscription. I had an account, but it was the free version only. So we're going to try it on our own and see how we do. Okay, so first thing, connect to our network. That's done. Deploy this machine. All right, so here we go. Again, welcome everybody. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. So now as the machine is populated here, up and running. Bloodbound, awesome. I'm glad you're on a computer. get some learning on. So the title of this one is Vulnversity. Vulnuniversity is the machine title at this IP 10.10.8.139. So we have deployed the machine. Task 1 is complete. Sweet. Alright, task 2, Reconnaissance. So we're going to focus on a tool called Nmap today. So that is my VPN running. We'll just open a new Kali window and minimize this one. Okay, so we're going to play a lot around with Nmap. Yes, indeed. Can't believe I'm using Nmap. Nmap is the tool for us, man. It is the tool for school. Okay, so we're going to do scan this box, task SV. So if I do Nmap, tac SV, and the machine's IP, 10.10.8.139. Now there are a lot of tools, or there are a lot of flags that you can use Nmap for, but Nmap is a network scanner, completely open source, comes on Kali Linux, has a lot of different flags. So if you were using this in real life, and you were actually doing a pen test, you're probably going to want to do the TAC S, capital S. That's a TCP SYN port scan. So for any of you that are familiar with some networking, a TCP Handshake is SYN, SYN-ACK, ACK, right? So your computer sends a SYN, they reply with a SYN-ACK, and then you reply with an ACK, and that is the full three-way handshake. If you're not familiar with that, please go look at some Network Plus kind of stuff, the basic TCP handshake. So the way that the TCP SYN port scan works is it's a stealth scan. So what it does is it sends the SYN out, and then that host that you're probing will send a SYN-ACK, and then in TCP SYN, Nmap never sends an ACK back, so it kind of just drops it. So it's harder to detect. Again, if you're out there pinging a whole subnet, a 24 subnet or a 16 subnet, then you are going to probably trigger some stuff if they've got some good cybersecurity. But hey, what's the reason we're all getting into cybersecurity? A lot of people don't have good cybersecurity. Okay, so this one is a box that's made for us to go attack. We're not worried about some guy on a blue team detecting us and shutting us down. So we're just going to follow their idea here, which is TAC S capital V, which attempts to determine the version of the services running. So Nmap, TAC SV, IP address, and we'll go ahead and hit start and let that run. So if you were doing a pen test of a network instead of just a single box, I would kick this off and I would let it run on the whole subnet, and then I would go work on other stuff. In other streams that I'm going to do, we'll talk about reconnaissance. I'll go out and do domain whoises, stuff like that. Bloodbound, the things that trip these alerts, IDSs, intrusion detection systems, or IPSs, intrusion prevention systems. IPSs will tend to close down the ports IPSs will tend to close down the ports. IDSs will send alerts. Again, it depends on just how well that organization's cybersecurity is. And I'll tell you, I've seen a lot across my time. I'm active duty military. I've been in the Navy for 18 years. And I'll tell you that cybersecurity in government is just as bad as you see it on the outside. I did some kind of off-the-shelf work on the side for a dentist down at my last duty station. It was a dentist office out in town. They knew me. They asked me to come in and kind of see what I could find on their network. I literally, so this is a dentist, right? So HIPAA information, a lot of penalties associated with violating HIPAA. I literally walked in their office, sat down in the waiting area, just with my laptop. They had a guest Wi-Fi account. Yeah, guess what? The guest Wi-Fi account wasn't separate from the rest of their network. I pulled up dentist records and showed them to them while I was sitting in the lobby. So that's the kind of problems we're seeing today in cybersecurity. Also, who wants to patch stuff? Well, nobody, because I don't know if that stuff's going to work after I patch it. So you're going to see stuff like that. And we'll get into some vulnerability scanning. Aside from pen testing like Nessus and stuff like that, where you can see what vulnerabilities are out there. Anyways, let's keep going. So We're going to kind of go through the structure that TryHackMe has here, and then we can talk a little bit more. So for note taking, you can see that this Nmap scan is done. So this is something that I would definitely save. You can see that there are already some issues here. This computer is replying back telling me versions of things that are running. So I am going to screenshot my Nmap scan. Things that are important that you capture when you're taking screenshots are definitely the IP address and the specific vulnerabilities. So I'm going to open this in GreenShot. This is my image editor, and a couple things. I'm going to make care to say that there's the IP address. And then really, I'm just going to save this out. If I was doing a full-on pen test, I'll copy this to the clipboard, and we'll just say nmap tech sv. We'll paste that image in. Okay, so here we can see that this is our initial, and I see that I've got some ports open, FTP, SSH, etc. I'll just drag that off to the side while we keep going here. Again, because of the structure of TryHackMe, at this point, if I didn't have the structure of TryHackMe, I would start researching, right? I would look at this FTP, like, okay, VS-FTPD 3.0.3, and I would look and see, just in Google, are there any vulnerabilities for VS-FTPD 3.0.3? Are there vulnerabilities with Samba? Yeah, guaranteed there's vulnerabilities with Samba. HTTPD, so that's an Apache server. It's running on port 3333. I would probably browse to that. There's another tool aside from Nmap called MassScan that as it's finding ports, it'll display them on the screen. So you get to port 80 and you see a web server, and I'll start probing that web server while it's running the rest of its scan. MassScan's an okay tool. It was really made to do rapid scanning. Yeah, so don't use MassScan to scan the whole internet. Just don't. You'll get people to show up at your door. Play with it. Add a targeted machine in a VPN, that's fine, but don't use it out there. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, don't actually shut down your school's network, man. Probably not a good plan. Okay, so we did our vulnerability scan, and we see that I've got Samba, which is a file share open. Couple of things here that you notice. Right, service information, it looks like OS, Unix, Linux, so it's probably running Linux. There is a Samba file share though. So we've got a file share, we've got HTTP server, we've got an HTTP proxy, we've got an FTP server, we've got OpenSSH. So a lot of stuff here. So let's see what TryHackMe wants us to do. Yeah, we ran Nmap. Okay, so that's completed. Good job. How many ports are open? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ports open. So we'll answer that. Okay, what version of the Squid proxy is running on the machine? Well, that's 3.5.12. We can see that right here. Squid HTTP proxy 3.5.12. And again, this is very guided, right? Once I got this Nmap scan, normally I'd be out in Google. There's a lot of places to look, but CVE databases that come as bookmarks in Kali, exploit DB here that you see in my browser, GHDB, those are places that you can look for vulnerabilities for these things and kind of see what you're going to be able to do. Start researching all that. And this is kind of really, to answer your question, just who wrote them. The number of threads that MassScan runs versus how Nmap runs. Nmap does a SYN scan, a SYN stealth scan. MassScan's just written differently. I believe MassScan was written in C, Nmap was written in Python. If you're doing targeting attempts, would MassScan be better? Really, it's a personal preference thing. There's not a lot of difference. you're probably not going to get asked to go do a pen test of, say, Google's network. They own like a /16, right? So you're not going to be trying to scan like 3,000, 4,000 machines all at once. You're probably going to be limited in scope to what you're doing. If you're doing a small pen test, maybe 100 machines, 200 machines. If you go through the practical ethical hacking course, they cover both. Nmap is kind of the go-to. Both of them are fine to use, and neither one is more safe than the other. I would just say mass scan, you're sending a lot of packets out on your network all at once if you use it on the open internet, which I don't recommend using either of these tools on the open internet. Don't go scan your ISP servers or Google servers with Nmap. Just don't do it, right? That is technically illegal. Okay, so this is kind of what we call active reconnaissance, right? It's not passive. This is active. I actually went and ran a Nmap scan on this box. Passive would be if this was google.com, then, I'm doing research on that domain. Domain whois, I'm trying to find people that work there. I look at LinkedIn. That's a great place. Maybe I try and figure out what somebody's public email address is. If I get their public email address at that company, then I know maybe how they're doing usernames at that company. If I find another person that has a leaked password in like have I been pwned, then now I can guess based on one person and another how their usernames are going, and I might be able to get some credentials that way, stuff like that. Okay, so how many ports will Nmap scan if the flag -p-400 is used? So let's try nmap --help. Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. Nmap kind of gives you this initial look of, hey, these are these ports. And then once I have these ports, I do need to go and do some research and build out my own tree of, hey, port 80 has this service running on it, and I found these vulnerabilities. Port 22 has SSH running on it, and I'm finding these vulnerabilities. Okay, so here is the --help on Nmap. As you can see, there's a lot of things you can do here. Really a ton. So let's see if we can find out. I'm going to guess that if I do -p-, yep, exactly, Bloodbound. Here, I'll type it in again so you can see it on my screen. --help, yep, nmap space --help, absolutely. So I'm betting that if I do -p-, -p- is all ports, but I bet if I type -p-400, it'll do 400 ports. And let's see, am I right? Yeah, I'm right. Okay, using the nmap flag -n, what will it not resolve? So -n, never do DNS resolution. So DNS. Okay, what is the most likely operating system this machine is running? So let's go up here. What do you guys think? What is this running? Most likely operating system. Linux is an option. Can you be more specific with me? I agree. It is running a flavor of Linux. So if you look at the Apache server that it says it's up and the OpenSSH, if this is coming through super grainy, please let me know, because I can try and adjust my video stream settings here. In fact, I will see if I can jack this up just a little bit. Yeah, my bit rate's a little low, so next stream I'll jack that up a little and see if that works. Yeah, Ubuntu, absolutely. Yeah, Bloodbound. So Linux has multiple different distributions. Windows isn't really a correlation because those Windows 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 7 are just versions of the same thing. But there are different people that take that open source Linux kernel and write distributions of the operating system. Ubuntu is one of them. Red Hat is another. Manjaro, right, is another pen testing one that we're using in CyberStart game. And then Kali, right? Kali is a version of Debian Linux, the source code. So Ubuntu. Okay, so UBU into U. Sweet. Okay, what port is the web server running on? So web servers. So that's Apache. And that's this guy right here on 3333. And they try and give us some hints here. It's 4 asterisks, so I know it's 4 digits. Yep, okay. So it's important to ensure you're always doing your reconnaissance thoroughly before progressing. Knowing all open services is very important. Don't forget that all ports on a higher range might be open, so always scan ports above 1,000, even if you leave scanning in the background. So we did that, right? We did the TAC SV. Right, you can do a dash top ports 1,000, and that'll scan like the top 1,000 ports. Ooh, that's a good one. What exactly is a port? What does it lead to? What does it let in? Okay, so we're getting a little bit back into networking, but that's fine. So you have an IP address that identifies your computer. And really at your house, your public-facing IP address identifies your router, right? And then everywhere beneath your router uses what's called network address translation. Basically, you have, yeah, this is all IPv4. Yep. So NAT, network address translation, is where your router sees this packet inbound for a machine on your network, and the router knows that, hey, that original packet went out from your desktop, so it's going to route the response back to your desktop. The way ports work is ports are, how to define something without using the term. Ports are identity numbers that get tacked onto an IP address for a given service to communicate on. So for instance, port 22, SSH, port 80. All web servers typically run on port 80 or port 8080. Secure web servers, HTTPS, run on port 443. And then the way that, so that's a communication out port, right? An outbound port. Yeah, exactly. They're made to direct requests to the proper service. So when Internet Explorer requests a website, it's requesting Google.com. Google.com uses DNS to resolve to an IP address, and then when that IP address gets requested, you're requesting port 80 on that server. And that's what serves up the HTML, or the HTTP connection. So when you're talking out, though, you know, Internet Explorer is requesting port 80 from Google, but it's not communicating out on port 80. The packets that are leaving your machine aren't coming out on port 80. Your computer will open up a dynamic port somewhere way up high above the top 1,000. You know, it might be 41,454, something like that, way up there. And that's the port that request will come back into. And your computer will do that by itself, and it'll open and close those ports as time goes. Those don't really mean anything, but kind of your top 200-ish ports, really a smattering across the top 1,000, are named to specific services. Port 80 is always HTTP. Right? You can run an HTTP server, an Apache server on whatever port you want. Like we saw here, it's running on port 3333. But if I just type into the browser, 10.10.8.139, it's never going to find that web server because my browser asks for port 80. Yeah, port numbers go from all the way up to 65535. That's the highest they can go. So typically what you'll see in pentest land is we'll do a TAC SV across a subnet, and then I'll get a list of hosts that are up, and then I will do top 1,000 ports on, top 1,000 ports on those hosts, and I'll see what services are up, and then I'll just tell it to scan everything while I'm working on enumerating the issues that I'm finding. One. Yeah, I don't think anything runs that low, but it's 1 to 65535. Okay, so let's keep going a little bit. I don't want to run this for hours tonight. We're already 30 minutes in, so yeah, don't forget the ports on a higher range might be open. We did scan higher, so we'll keep it the way it is. Okay, so now next is locating directories using GoBuster. So we're going to locate a directory that we can use to upload a shell to. So GoBuster is a tool that you use against a web server, and it tries to find other directories and files. So, most people know with a WordPress site, unless the site is kind of customized, if you go to that website /wp-admin, you're going to get the admin login prompt, right? So GoBuster, hopefully I already have on installed. I really don't want to have to download stuff. Ah, damn it. Okay. So we will download GoBuster. Save that. Okay, so GoBuster master extract. Yep. Okay, and we'll just put you on the desktop. Cool. Okay, great. We got some GoBuster, and I bet I just lost my TryHackMe page, didn't I? Okay, so let's pretend that if we were hacking in real life, we just, decided that we were going to do the web server first. And we found that there's some vulnerability with that version of Apache, because that's where TryHackMe is trying to take us down, right? So we're going to use GoBuster. We'll need a word list. Yeah, you can find many word lists. Yeah, well, thanks SIM for hosting me. Word lists. So if in Kali Linux, if you go to root/user/share, and Kali doesn't really like the GUI. Yeah, dictionary tags, exactly. So there's a ton of different word lists. They're all contained here in the word lists folder. Right, there's dirbusters, there's the rocku.txt, which this is rocku.txt. It's huge. It's like 14 million different words, possible passwords, possible names, right? There are some that are definitely directly made for, like Dirbuster. Dirbuster has a directory list 1.0, right? So CGI-bin, that's a popular directory, right? Toolbar, maybe, help, search, right? All sorts of crap. So we're going to play with some of these. Directory list TAC 2.3 TAC medium.txt is a popular one in Dirbuster, so we'll use that here. So let's go to my desktop. Okay, so GoBuster dir tac u. U is the target URL. HTTP 10.10.8.139. And remember, I have to specify that port, that weird 3333, and then tac w /user/share/word lists, I think. This is where if it was just installed, it would be word lists. dirbuster/directory list 2.3 medium.txt. We'll use that one and see how we do. And it says run that. Okay, so let's run that. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So we're telling GoBuster to find directories. Absolutely. And GoBuster doesn't like me. Maybe I have to be in the GoBuster dir. Maybe I just have to... Maybe I just have to mess around with installing this the right way first. Yeah, build. That'd be nice if they told you how to build it. Okay, so I'm going to use my own tool. Screw them. So dirbuster, very similar thing. HTTP:// So I just typed dirbuster in the directory. 10.10.8.139. We'll say use 20 threads, so 20 times at once. Scanning with lists and files. So we'll go over to root, user. No, sorry, Bloodbound, not my own tool at all. Dirbuster comes with Kali, GoBuster does not. I would rather just use the one that comes in Kali. TryHackMe wants me to use that. They didn't give me enough directions, and I don't want to troubleshoot in front of you guys, so word lists, dirbuster, the medium. So a couple things here with the dirbuster. I almost fucked up again. Got to put that port right. A lot of this you can leave as default. Depending on how much RAM you've assigned to your virtual machine, I use 4 gigabytes for Kali. The default, I think, when you load it into VMware is 2. So I double it. We're doing a list-based brute force, right? So we're going to use a word list. So you browse to your word list here. And then if you know it's a IIS server, for instance, a Microsoft server, you might add some file extensions there. .asp, ASPX. PHP is fine right now. It's not going to hurt anything. So let's go ahead and run. So now it's going to go out, and it is going to look for files that have PHP in them. Dirbuster has paused as 20 consecutive errors have happened. Why don't you like me? Internally, lighter 2738. Internally a bit, not so much externally. Let's try that one more time here. See if I can figure out what's going on. Getting a lot of connections refused. I did find a couple directories though. So response code 200s. This is frustrating. Did find images and icons. Fortunately, didn't find anything else. And they really jump around in this, don't they? They do. Yeah, they really jump around in this room. That's kind of frustrating. Okay, so I guess we're going to try and figure out how to install GoBuster here. So let's go back to the GoBuster website. They really want me to use that. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. I might. Hey, look at you go there. So it really depends on if there's a package out there for it. Just trying to follow along with the TryHackMe where they say, hey, go out and download it here. Looks like that's going to work for us, so let's give it a shot. So can I type GoBuster now? Yeah, looks like we might be in business. Hey, great advice, Slider. So there's my command. Yeah, let's let that run. And 8 viewers tonight. This is the best I've had so far. I really appreciate everyone coming out. So as you can see, as GoBuster runs, yeah, tar, gunzip, and unzip are your friends. If you got a tar gz file, tar will do it for you. If you got just a gz, learn today gunzip is the command that you're going to want to play with. Yeah. Anyways, so GoBuster's running. We're at 1% because it's using that medium word list. Anybody know what these status codes mean? Status 301? Anybody? While we're letting that run. So 301 means if you go there, it's going to try and redirect you somewhere. HTTP 301 moved permanently, but guess what? It is finding those directories. Unfortunately, it didn't tell me which word list to use, so I used the schmedium, which I probably didn't need, but so what is the directory that has an upload form page? So let's see what we get here. 10, 10, 8, 139, 3333. So here's the website. This, I swear to God, is almost looks like a WordPress. Like I have seen this theme before. Yeah, Durbuster is used all the time. Don't know why it was erroring out on me. That's something I'm going to have to play with. It might just be something on TryHackMe wanting to force me to use the tool that they want me to use. I'm not sure, but Durbuster I use all the time. So it says, what's the directory with an upload page? So we can try to go to the ones that they have us go to. So this would be a finding, by the way. The fact that I got a directory and I didn't get an actual HTML page here, and I'm seeing identification, right? I'm seeing that Apache 2.4.18, right? I shouldn't be able to find that. So given that I'm finding that, that would be something I would screenshot and put in my notes. But images doesn't have an upload form. CSS. No uploader there, although I'm getting Bootstrap here. I've got a CSS. Mixins. What else? JS. Man, no HTML in all of this shit. I bet it's going to be internal. Internal sounds suspicious. Boom. There it is. Internal. I can browse. Yeah. So this is a little unrealistic. If you come across some company out in the world that you could find this directory and just browse and upload files, run. Run the other way fast. So anyways, we'll go, we'll let this keep running in the background, right? This is stuff you could kick off right away as soon as you find a website. Because, I'll show you. Because we're going to upload some malicious code to this server right here, right? And we're going to compromise this server tonight. So, /internal is the directory as an upload form page. Yeah, I can upload whatever I want. Like I could go and find some ransomware and upload it and see what it'll do. No answer needed on this. So let's compromise the web server. Try to upload a few file types to the server. What common extension seems to be blocked? Okay. So you might be asking, well, how do I check that? So what are some common file types? PHP, JavaScript, exe, HTML. Yeah, Bloodbound. So meme images, sure. If you're just being a nice guy, right? If you're doing a pen test, are you gonna upload malware that can bring down the network up to it? Well, if it's in scope, maybe. If the rules of your pen test are that you don't disrupt the company's operations while you're doing it, and you're just finding vulnerabilities, then yeah, you probably don't want to upload some stuff that's going to drop a server. It all depends on the scope of the work you're doing. So touch will just make empty files, but I can make them with whatever name I want. So, why are you not? You're being a jerk. Okay, hide you for now. Okay, so I've got a PHP, a JavaScript, an executable, and HTML. We'll do HTM. Okay, so let's go back to that upload page. It really depends. So I've got some limited experience. I don't have a ton, but a lot of what I was doing was really just not trying to take them down. It was trying to find, hey, this thing is vulnerable to this. Very rarely did I go as far as taking down as much as I could, but every once in a while. So .exe set extension not allowed. HTM, set extension not allowed. Interesting. So let's yeah, absolutely. It's definitely what that company allows you to do. What common extension seems to be blocked? Well, PHP. Okay. So yeah, extension wasn't allowed on PHP, but if I went to .htm, that also said extension allowed, so that's not super useful. Okay, so to identify which extensions aren't blocked, we're going to fuzz the upload form. To do this, we're going to use Burp Suite. So yeah, this is also getting beyond the scope of like entry-level shit, but that's fine. So Burp Suite is a web proxy. So I've got it right over here. Burp Suite Community Edition is completely free. If it asks you to update, you can ignore it. Yep, we're going to use Intruder, used for automating customized attacks. So I don't have a ton of experience. I kind of tend to just play with it each time until I kind of make it do what I want. But we'll go next on a temporary project, start Burp. Really, it's used for kind of man in the middle, seeing what a website's giving you, that kind of stuff. So we need to make a custom word list with these different extensions. Okay, so let's touch phpext.text. Get rid of this crap. Move to the trash, okay. So they want us to make a word list with those things in it. What do you mean, Bloodbound? You were recommended to create an SSH session. So there was an SSH server open on this box. Eighth wall, so Markov chains. What do you mean? Am I good with them? So that's all probability prediction stuff, right? Possible future events based on states in previous events being obtained. No, I don't really have. I don't really have a lot of experience with that kind of stuff, man. Oh yeah, that's. I clicked your link. Probably wasn't the best idea for me to just randomly click links, but I trust the people that come here. Yeah, that's straight software dev stuff, man. That's not my cup of tea at all. The SOSGOD, no, not necessarily. SSH connections would purely depend on what user you're logged in as. So in this case, we're going to escalate privileges using malware being uploaded through a website instead of an SSH connection. Okay, so I've made this little word list. Make sure Burp Suite is configured to intercept all your browser traffic. So in Burp Suite, which I didn't mean to run it a second time. Let's close that. Yeah, I want to exit that. So I've got to go proxy intercept is on. And then I've got to go into Firefox here. Oh man. Been a little bit since I've played with Burp. Sorry guys, brain farting a little bit tonight with Burp Suite. Again, that's totally not what I wanted to do. Yeah, leave. Yep, close. Yep, close. That's the one I wanted to click. Where is it at? 8080. So you have to configure Burp Suite to intercept your browser traffic. So the first thing that once you get Burp Suite running, it runs on port 8080, and you're going to download the CA certificates for it, and then you're going to upload them into your Firefox and trust them. So now I can go to my preferences here. Network proxy can figure out Firefox connects to the internet, right? So I'm going to use a manual proxy. We're going to use 127.0.0.1 port 8080. And we're going to say OK. Firefox is just what comes with Kali Bloodbound. No requirement there at all. It used to come with Iceweasel, and now it's straight up Kali. Or straight Firefox. Where the frack are the damn certificates? Yeah, view certificates here. And then we'll import from our downloads the CA cert as well. And we'll trust it. Great. Okay, so now we've got the proxy set to 127.0.0.1.80.80. And we've got Burp Suite proxy with Intercept on. Now let's see what TryHackMe is telling me to do. No, not a lot of experience with Parrot. My Kali guy, I gotta say. It's just when I started pen testing, I started with the OSCP penetration with Kali course. That was kind of just an intro for me. Didn't actually get to finish the course. It was paid for by the military, and then about a month into it, I had to move and didn't get to get enough lab time to really keep going with it. Still have an OSCP exam voucher that I just haven't even taken yet. This next coming week, I'm going to be starting PTS from eLearn Security Penetration Testing Students, the EJPT certification, Junior Pen Tester. I'm going to start that and see how that goes. Gives a little bit more structure before I get into OSCP again. Okay, so upload a file. So we'll upload a file. Let's see if we can capture this traffic. So I guess I should, we'll just make a PHP file again. Okay, we'll browse 1.php, click submit. Okay, so now if I click over to Burp, hello, click over to Burp Suite. Now you see here in the proxy. So this request is a post request, right? Right here it's showing. So this is the proxy running on my own computer, and it actually hasn't really sent it to the website yet, right? You see the bouncing thing here because the proxy has intercepted it. We told it to intercept all of our traffic, but it is telling me to try and upload file 1.php. Right? I clicked submit. So this is the post request going for my computer. This is all the stuff that's kind of sent out. So this is how websites know what browsers you're running, right? I'm telling it. I'm running Mozilla 5.0, Firefox 60.0, right? I'm coming from here, or this is the refer. This is the page I'm at, right? This is the length of my content. So you can kind of see a lot of information. This is how websites kind of profile you a little bit. So once this request is captured, send it to the intruder. So action send to intruder. Okay, so click on payloads and select the sniper attack type. So this is all new for me. Payload type, maybe? Where's the sniper attack type? Payload positions, sniper attack type, okay. Yep. And click add blah to the extension. Oh, okay. So we're gonna go right here. Go there, I guess. Is that where they were telling me to put it? Nope, there and after the PHP. Okay. Run this attack. Sure, I guess. Preset payload list is empty. Payload. We'll load our text file from our desktop, which should be this PHP extension. Yeah, okay. It looks like I got what extension is allowed. Am I missing a window here or something? That's intruder attack 1. Guess I'm having a hard time finding out if this was actually successful or not. Well, let's keep going. So based on the format they're giving me here, I'm betting that PHTML is what's allowed. Yep. So I don't know how to figure that out yet in Burp, but let's get to the goodies here. So we're going to use a PHP reverse shell as our payload. So reverse shell works by being called on by the remote host and forcing that host to connect out. So we're going to listen on our end and have our shell executed, which will beacon out for us. So we're going to download the reverse shell. So this is great. Yep. So cool. So I'm just going to copy paste. Okay, so I've got a reverse shell payload here. You don't need to know PHP for this at all. But let's go back to the TryHackMe page. Edit the IP to be your ton 0 page and use your internal. So go here, I'm going to tell Firefox to stop with that. Oh, so Bloodbound, this is a shell, right? A connection like SSH, secure shell, right? When you SSH into a machine, you get a shell, a user command interface. So a reverse shell is where I'm going to tell my computer to just wait for a connection and listen, and I'm going to tell the other computer that I'm hacking to send me the shell. Whereas with SSH, that computer's listening. It's running the server, basically, right? The SSH server, and I am tunneling to it. So a reverse shell is it telling me to come back to me and give me a shell. That is what this exploit is going to be today. Okay, so here's my internal virtual, 10.8.13.209. So it says go ahead and find the IP in here and edit it. So 10.8.13.209, 10.8.13.209. What does TryHackMe want me to do? They want me to leave it on 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll leave it on 1, so I'll save this now. And I bet I need to rename it to .phtml. So, highly recommend that for our next one, we go through the Burp Suite room, probably. Okay, so here's our reverse shell.phtml file. I can close, I didn't want to close that. Let's find that IP address again, 10.10.8.139, upload. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So the IP address that I put in here, this is my IP address because I'm going to upload this file to the server. The server is going to process this phtml file, and it's going to tell that server to connect to me. So that is my IP address for this reverse shell. Absolutely. So Netcat. If none of you are familiar with Netcat, just minimize a bunch of this. Netcat is a tool for connecting and sending basic text, stuff like that. You can send files with it a little bit, but we're going to tell Netcat to listen. So I'm telling my computer to listen on port 1234. And now this is just going to run, and it's going to wait and listen. Okay, so that's happening. So now we're going to go and upload that phtml file. It says success. And now we have to make it run, right? So we're going to go to internal. Yeah, see, they don't tell you everything here. Or they don't explain how you would find that, but internal uploads php-reverse shell. e-reverse-shell.phtml. So going here is going to execute that. So I went to this website, thing I uploaded. It executed that PHP. Apache did. It executed that file that I uploaded to that uploads folder. And now look over here. So I got a connection from 10.10.8.139, port 49,680, right? So that is one of those dynamic ports we were talking about earlier. The server opened that port to speak out and connect to me on port 1234. So there we go. We have our first shell. We are connected to this server. Or this server really is kind of connected to us, and it gave us access. So we should see a connection. Fantastic. So now, what user is running the web server? So easy command in Linux. Who am I? There it is. www-data is running the web service. So you're free to do this on a friend's website. However, better be one he's hosting and owning the server too, right? If he's hosting it on GoDaddy, then GoDaddy's going to have to give you permission to do that, right? And if he has an upload form like that, well, he's probably just asking for it. My answer is incorrect. Why is my answer incorrect? What user was running the web server? Oh, it might be root as well. Root's running some processes. So ps space aux shows you all the running processes on a machine. So we are www-data. That's who we're logged into the server with. Looks like most of the stuff, it looks like the only servers running anything are Proxy, root, and www-data. There's that SSH server that's being run as root. That's awesome. VSFPD, FTPD being run as root. PHP is being run as root, right? So it's probably safe to assume that the web server is being run as root. Huh. If they were logged in on the server, they wouldn't really see anything. Like a window wouldn't pop up on their screen or anything, right? It's running its own shell. If they ran and checked the running processes on the machine. Yeah, if they checked the running processes on the machine, they could probably. That's really about the only way. Yeah, you'd see it. Yep, exactly. You'd see a running process that way. So there we go. So if I go to the home directory, I see a user directory called Bill, and I see a user.txt. So let's go down here. And I can cat that file, right? User.txt. And here's a flag. So a lot of the Vuln Hub, Hack the Box, stuff like that, right? Your goal is to get into the server as a user, which here we are. And then your goal is to get the flag, right? So, hey, good job. We got our first flag here on Actual Tom Twitch stream. Yeah, root is admin, man. Root is God. If you have root access, you can go anywhere you want and do whatever the hell you want. You can install whatever software, all that. Okay, so how to search for all SUID files. So I don't know how to do this. So let's Google. So in Linux, SUID is a special type of file permission given to a file. You would make software to check for unrecognized outgoing connections. No, man, you wouldn't have that upload form in the first place, right? You'd keep your shit patched. You wouldn't have upload forms. If you had upload forms like that where you needed people to be able to upload stuff, then you would definitely make it so that nobody could browse to that uploads folder and execute stuff there. And then whatever user's running that web server wouldn't be able to have executable permissions on files, right? Stuff like that. So on the system, search for all SUID files. Let's see here. Search for all. Yeah, it is not this easy normally at all, man. Not even close. Okay, so let's go back to the home or the as far down as we can go. Okay, so here we're at the kind of the root directory. So we're gonna find anything with the user root. So set user ID upon execution. So if I can find something that has SUID file that has SUID set, that means that root has given me the permission to run that file as them without being them. So that's kind of what I'm going to be looking for. Is there something here that I can run as root without being root? And if there is, then can I exploit that somehow? So if you look at chmod, if you're familiar with it, in Windows, how you have like read, write, execute. I'm looking for something like that, where system, which is root essentially, has read, write, execute, and they've given me execute permission as well. That's basically what I'm doing here. So that permission, you can kind of read right here. User is what I'm looking for. Right, I'm looking for something that I have permission to run as them. No, an SUID is a property of a file that gives it those permissions. Yeah, it's a permission that was assigned to a executable or to a file. I don't know why my find's not working here. Oh, I think I lost my connection. I wonder if that's what happened. It looks like. Yeah. Why did I lose my connection? That's not cool at all. Oh, GoBuster's still running. That's cool. I got a server-status. Yeah, that's... God damn it. Okay. Now we're connected again. Like a certificate? I mean, I guess that's a way to kind of think of it. Okay. So let's see if we can get this to work now. I didn't even realize we lost connection there. Yeah, that'll probably happen every once in a while. So find user root where the permission is SUID, and I want to print that out. Why do you hate me so much right now? Find / user root. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. So it found a few things. It looks like password. Looks like maybe sudo. And then system control. Mounting drives, NTFS, that's file shares. Umount, same thing. Fuser mount, ping. I don't really care about stuff like that. But I do see that we have system control here. That's kind of interesting. So let's see if it's that's /bin /systemctl. Cool. All right, so systemctl is what basically turns on your services when you boot up your machine. Make sure services run. Yeah, so now I'm going to try and basically make a command that I can get systemctl to run. Why did I do that? Oh, god damn it. I'm having fun today, guys. This is what happens when I haven't done it with you guys before, or done it ahead of time. Interesting, okay. So we're going to create a service. And we're going to, in a bash shell, we're going to see if, so remember flags are normally in that user's directory. So we're going to see if I can get the root flag out and tell them to put it somewhere where we can get to it. And right, I don't really need to have full admin privs here, right? The goal of a CTF or a pen test is to gain access to the flag. Cannot create directory non-existent. Let's lose my shit here. All right, 1 second, guys. Wife's telling me I need to let my dog out. But we are literally on the last step. Give me just a minute. Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. So I am back connected. I really want to get root to run a command to copy this damn thing. To copy this flag out, right? That's kind of my goal. So let's see here. Let's see what I'm reading wrong. Okay, so try it a different way here. So on my second monitor, I kind of have the documentation for how a service is supposed to read. But really when so it's service as a tag, and then when it execs, what do I want it to do? I want it to give me my flag, and I just really want to cat it to output. Alright, and then I want who wants the service, or who can have access to it, basically. And then assign it to an environmental variable. Okay, and then I want to link that to system control, because I have access to run system control. Right? So I'm going to link that to my escalation of privilege service. Okay, and now I want to run it. So without rebooting the machine, right, and getting a service to start. So I'm going to enable it now. Service EOP. Okay. So that should have run. Yeah, absolutely. That caret is to redirect it or put it in that place. So I just created the service, right? I was echoing that stuff to the screen and then assigning it to that variable. And then I have the power, which I shouldn't because I'm a basic user. I have the power to run system control, which is to make services. So I basically put this service in a text file, called it escalation of privilege $EOP in a variable, and then I linked system control to it, and then I told system control to run it now. So now that I've done that, I should be able to go to temp, and if you see there, I have a new file in temp called output. And guess what, guys? I now have output, by the way, or ls-a will give you hidden directories, ls-la will give you a list. So you could see that root even put that output there. So here should be my root user flag. Right, and it even told me /root/root.txt. So did we get it? Oh yeah, we got it, guys. So we got, on Vulnversity, we got the user flag, and then we identified using the set user ID privilege. We identified that system control could still be run as us, as a basic user, as www-data. And that was after we uploaded a PHP file to cause a reverse shell. So we did some great stuff tonight. We didn't actually get administrative privileges on the server, but we definitely did learn quite a bit about some active reconnaissance, right? No passive. We didn't do any passive kind of stuff, but we did some active recon, attacked a web application using Burp Suite, and then we uploaded a PHP file to give ourselves a reverse shell. And then we went through, and with that reverse shell, found the user flag, and then found the root flag. So that was an hour and 30 minutes. That's not bad to go through an entire room. It's not great, but it's not bad. But again, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you are coming from the Discord server, then hit me back up on Discord later and tell me what more stuff you'd like to see next time. Some of the more basic learning paths we'll go through a more typical pen test from beginning to end with a single host, and show you a lot more of the reconnaissance side of it and enumerating all those different services, right? So it's not enough that we got root using the web server, right? There were still all those other ports that were open that we would have to go through and find the vulnerabilities in. It's not just, hey, I owned your system. It's, hey, here are the 5 different ways I could have owned your system. And this is what, as a customer that's paying me for a pen test, what you need to do to fix it. So this is the vulnerability, and this is the patch, right? Recommended remediations are definitely part of this. If you see a upload page like that that's kind of hidden, you know that it's probably being run as a root, right? It wasn't linked on the homepage. If it was linked on the homepage, they probably had some filtering on it. But in this case, they didn't. So again, if you're coming from the UR Hacker Discord, thanks for tuning in tonight. If you're coming from other places, freaking awesome. Please follow. I'm glad to have more viewers tonight. And whatever you want to see next time, please hit me up. My website, which I will be having another blog post in probably tomorrow, is now in the chat. Next week, we're hoping to start the EJPT certification beginning to end here. And I'm going to try and get on a schedule so you guys can actually tune in, every day, every other day at the same time. So if you have opinions on that too, shoot me a message through Twitch, leave a message in the UR Hacker Discord, leave me a comment on my blog post, on my blog, anywhere in there. Get a hold of me and let me know what you want to see, when you want to see it, and we'll do more. All right, guys, thanks. Have a good night.